Welcome back to our MSG SportsDesk studios here in New York. Mike Crispino joined by Dave Jennings, and nothing ever comes easy to the New York Jets. They try to get a head coach. They can't get the guy they want, but they do get a very competent guy in Bill Belichick for now. What does this mean to the team, the organization?
Well, first of all, forget the same old Jets. Now it's the brand new Jets. They've got instant credibility. All weekend long we were hearing either give up the number one and get Parcells, or don't give it up, and wait a year. Well, what do? They didn't give it up, so they still got it. They got Parcells, albeit as a consultant, maximum for a year, and they got Belichick, who is a very fine coach. So they got the assistants, they got credibility, and Jet fans should be very excited right now.
What do you expect from Bob Kraft? Do you think he'll try to sue Bill Parcells, perhaps, or will he appeal to the NFL?
Well, he's going to do something, because he talked the talk, but he couldn't walk the walk when it came down to it. And I know he's very upset right now. There's talk about him suing Parcells for breach of contract, going after the Jets somehow, but this will not go quietly.
Bill Belichick now, as an interim, basically, for the next year, how does he deal with that? Most coaches who would step into just a year job as a head coach might not be able to deal with it that well, but do you think Belichick will handle this fairly well?
Well, number one, he's got no ego. We found that out today by talking to him. He said, I don't care. I'm here for the duration of the contract. I'm here, as part of the program with Bill, and it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how long he will be the head coach.
You have known him for many years, and you were able to get a hold of him one-on-one today, which was kind of an unusual case.
Exactly. He wasn't doing one-on-ones, but I asked him, Bill and I go back a long way. He's my special teams coach from 79 to 83, the time during which I had my greatest success. And there were some questions at the press conference as to who is going to make the decisions here down the stretch with Bill Parcells being a consultant, and I asked Bill Belichick that question.
Well, Bill, I'm not sure from that press conference, but it sounds like you're running the show here until Bill Parcells is able to take over.
That's right. Bill's basically, I'll do everything that I can to make this a strong program, and I know what Bill would want to do, and Bill and I are on the same page, but if it comes down to having to make a decision, I'll make it, and I would think in 99% of the cases it'd probably be the same one that Bill would make.
So you make all personnel decisions, you make the draft decisions, training camp, all that stuff will come from you until Bill can take over.
Right, I'll hire the staff, I'll do all that until Bill gets here, that's right.
Now, Bill could take over in a couple weeks, it could be a couple months. Have you thought about that, or are you just thinking about the ball club right now?
Well, it could be in a couple of days, but at whatever point that is, then Bill and I will work in concert to make those decisions that we need to make, or if they're ones that he wants to make by himself, or if they're ones he wants to delegate to me, then, we'll just work that out. But it's never been a problem in the past, and I don't think our egos will let it be a problem in the future.
Jet fans have been waiting for a winner for a while. They've seen coaches come and go, general managers come and go. What can you do? Why are you different from these other guys to make this, team a winning team?
Well, I think our program really has worked 4 times. It worked from the 83 to the 86 Giants, then from the 87 to the 90 Giants, which were really 2 pretty different teams. Worked in Cleveland from the 3-13 Browns to the 12-6 Browns, and it worked at the Patriots from the 2-14 Patriots to the 11-5 AFC champion Patriots. So I think that there's pretty good evidence that we have a good track record, and that if we can get our program in place, get everybody buying into it and sacrificing and be a part of the program, that we'll be successful here.
A lot of Jet fans screaming all weekend, don't give up the number one. They figured it was either you get Parcells, give up the number one, or you don't get Parcells, keep the number one. Are you as happy as I'm sure all the Jet fans are now that you got the number one, you got yourself, and you got Parcells in place?
Well, obviously I think we have a good program here, and that number one pick's worth a lot. Dave, I don't know how you can really put a price tag on it, but the research that I've done, and from being a head coach and being around that type of decision making, that first pick's probably worth between $20 and $25 million. I would say the second pick or the first pick in the second round is probably somewhere between the $7 to $8 million range. So just to get some idea what those picks are worth, if you were to be able to sell one out on the open market to another team, that's probably what they would bring. And I think those are the decisions that have to be made, but that's Mr. Hess's decision. I'm just here to coach a football team.
You just talked about Mr. Hess, who is not here today. We don't see him. The fans don't see him. There are certain maybe misconceptions about Leon Hess. Could you give us, you met him on Monday. Could you tell us your impressions of Leon Hess?
Well, he's a very sharp individual, a man of few words, but very strong words when he speaks, and I can see why he's very successful in business. He's an astute man that has strong convictions and values, and he's going to stick by them. And he's a good businessman. He's tough, and a very unique person. It's very enjoyable to spend some time with him.
You excited right now?
Yeah, I am, Dave. I think this is a great opportunity, a great franchise, a strong organization that's willing to make the commitment to be successful, and that's what it takes. I know our program's good. I'm confident in what we can do with the players and in terms of developing young players here and building a stronger program. And with the Jets' commitment to this program, I think we've got a great future.
Interesting numbers from Bill Belichick. First of all, it could be a couple days before Bill Parcells could be a head coach here, plus the numbers he threw out in terms of millions of dollars for that #1 draft pick. He thinks it's worth $25 million. And the second round, first pick in the second round, $7 to $8 million.
Well, I think what he's talking about is a contract terms over the life of a first-round draft choice, of 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and that's a lot of money. And, we don't know what the Jets were offering the Patriots this past weekend, but I'll tell you what, it's down a lot less right now.
And certainly, if you look at those numbers, if you agree with what Bill Belichick is saying there, the Patriots are looking at throwing away several $1 million in terms of not taking one of those or both.